If you practice law in Dallas, Texas, I want to tell you something that we found. We ran real questions through ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google's Gemini, and Claude, the same way one of your clients would ask, who's the best lawyer in Dallas? And we did this across every practice area. My name is Mark Apple, and I am the founder and partner of Forward Push Law Firm Marketing. And when we looked at which firms kept coming up, we found in the data that there are two completely different Dallases hiding in that data. Almost nobody treats them like two separate problems, and I want to walk you through both. One Dallas is all about personal injury, family law, real estate, the stuff where clients actually search by name, and the same local firms kept coming up. You had Mullen and Mullen leading the way in personal injury. Orsinger, Nelson, Downing, and then Anderson, they led in family law and divorce, with both Coons Fuller and Goranson falling close behind. The other Dallas is commercial law, and it runs on statewide Texas heavyweights most consumers have never heard of and probably never will. That split held up across all 2,715 real Dallas answers we read, every practice area, all four tools. The top three firms in a typical category pulled about 32% of all the mentions, with around 74 other firms just trailing behind. Now, this matters for you and your law firm depending on which Dallas you're actually competing in. If you're consumer facing, personal injury or family law, you're up against local names people already recognize, and your fix is recognition and directory strength. If you're in commercial work, you're up against statewide institutions with decades of authority behind them, and closing that gap is a much longer project. Treat both problems the same way, and you'll waste effort either way. When Perplexity backed up a Dallas answer with the source, 99% of the time it was a directory, one of the highest rates we found anywhere in the country. Super lawyers led about 17% and Justia about 14%, so you know. Either way, your first move is going to be the same. Claim your super lawyers and Justia profiles and finish every field, because you've got to make sure that everything you put in each of the directories matches up, or you'll remain invisible to the large language models. So go ahead, match your name, your address, and practice areas across every listing you've got. Then be honest with yourself about which Dallas you're actually in, because the local recognition play and the institutional authority play take completely different amounts of time to win. One more thing I think worth noting in the study and what we found for Dallas is that the tools only agree with each other about 4% of the time, and one of the lowest overlaps that we saw across the country. So whichever Dallas you're fighting in separately on all four tools, not just the one you happen to be watching. It's important to keep that in mind. What you're seeing in ChatGPT is not necessarily what your client is seeing using Google Gemini. So again, figure out which category you're in, fill out your directories, and then check all four tools. That's what you need to do to win in Dallas for a law firm to be found in large language models that people are using online now to find attorneys.